Welcome to the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. You can catch us Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on FS1. Here's what this podcast is all about. It's an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the day's show, and there's a lot to get into in today's podcast. Shannon claims the Golden State Warriors are softer than drugstore cotton. Skip details why Kevin Durant should just stop talking. Nelly explains why they might not let him back in St. Louis after Game 7 tonight. Ray Lewis states there's a new king in town, and his name is Dak Prescott. FS1 college football analyst Joel Klatt stops by to tell us what the College Football Committee got wrong last night. You guys ready to debate? Let's get it started. Kevin Durant had a lot to say about his former teammate Russell Westbrook yesterday. Durant said stories about their relationship are inauthentic and a feud between the two was created by others. He added, "We were brothers, we are brothers. All that stuff I hear is lies. All that stuff that I'm taking shots at the Thunder or Russell, it's just there to try and separate us. They did it when we were playing together. They tried to separate us. I don't have anything against Russell, as I shouldn't. I don't think he has anything against me. They want us to beef because the game on Thursday, they want more suspense and excitement when they turn on the TV. I love Russ. I never did anything morally wrong. I never backstabbed him in real life, never did anything behind his back, never told anyone anything about his character." Nelly is still with us, but yes. Skip, let me start with you. What do you make of this?
Here we go again with this man. I like Kevin Durant a lot. His heart is in the right place. Sometimes his mind, not so much. If I had 2 cents worth of advice for Kevin right now, he should just keep playing basketball and keep playing at the high level he's played at so far with his new team and just quit talking about Russell Westbrook and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Kevin Durant chose to end that relationship. It was his choice, not theirs. They didn't ship him out. He left on his own accord. And now he should just move on and let it all go. It was interesting to me. He says he's still watching every Thunder game. You think Russell Westbrook's watching the Warriors? As he said the other day, Russell's like, me? Watch the why? You know, like he doesn't care. He has moved on. Kevin Durant often speaks to a reporter the way a lot of people speak to their shrink. And this was a one-on-one interview. I'm serious.
The ambassador, there you go.
Yeah. This is a one-on-one sit-down. The guy named Anthony Slater from the San Jose Mercury News. It's a really good interview, but it comes across like psychoanalysis where Kevin's trying to figure himself out while he's talking to the reporter, which can be, as you know, very dangerous. So a lot of his statements that he made again are outrageously contradictory because he said, I don't want Russell and I to play this out through the media. And then he openly, he volunteers that we're going through a tough time in our relationship right now, that they're not speaking, they're not communicating. So why would you volunteer that? Because you're playing it out through the media, and you said you're not playing. Which is it? And then he blames the media for saying that he was taking shots at Russell Westbrook. I'm pretty sure those came across as shots when you say it's now really a pleasure to play with a team that plays selfless basketball. How do you think Russell Westbrook's going to interpret that?
Exactly.
And you remember his response that day? He said, "Oh, that's cute. I guess my job here is to go
play with
these selfish players, to figure out how to play with these selfish guys." Well, I don't blame Russell for being ticked off about that. I have reported this for years, and I do know a lot about that relationship. Kevin loved Russell and loves him off the floor. He did not love playing basketball with Russell Westbrook. He did not love sharing the stage with Russell Westbrook. He wanted out because he did not love the way the organization coddled and spoiled and catered to Russell Westbrook far more than it did to Kevin Durant. I'm fine. I was good with that. If you want to go because the system allows you to go, go join the best team if you want to. Be a prohibitive favorite. In your 10th year, maximize your chance to win your first ring. But shut up and keep playing basketball the way you are. I don't want to hear another word about this because I'm tired of talking about it.
Right. You know, I agree 1,000%, Skip. I know Kevin Durant should stop talking. You know, he says, Russell and I are brothers. But in the most important decision of your life, professional life, you don't call your brother, you text him. You know, he keep opening doors, making comments. My grandmother used to always say, boy, close the door, flies are coming in. He's opening these doors, so what do you expect us to do? We're going to walk in. He says, I didn't stab him in the back. That's a really, really low bar for a friend. I mean, think about that, Dale. You're a friend.
Stab him in the back. Those words, just that lingo that you're using in tense.
I didn't stab my friend in the back.
But
Are you supposed to? Are you even friend or foe? Isn't that what you're not supposed to do? Also, I never told anyone about his character. You just opened up another door. Is there something we don't know about Russell Westbrook? Because you just opened the door, I got to walk in. So what did he expect us to do? And then, Skip, you mentioned it. He says it's nice to play with a team that's selfless. Automatically, 90% of the population says if you leave one team and you go to a team and you says, I love it over here because they're selfless, one would automatically assume, or irrational, prudent person would assume, the team you left was selfish. Why are you saying that? Okay, you said, okay, they're building this up because, we play. You did the interview. Let's just say for the sake of debate, they did the interview on Saturday. When did he think the article was going to come out? We got to get the most, whether it's television, whether it's radio, movies, you got to get the most bang for your buck.
And you know what? Most important, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
But when you make that statement, selfless, here's the thing. Team goes as the point guard goes. Point guard on that team, Oklahoma City, is Russell Westbrook.
Yep.
If you're saying selfless, you have to be talking about your point guard.
Right.
Your point guard is the play. Your point guard distributes, he runs the plays, he does everything. He has the ball in his hand 80% of the time when he's on the court. He runs the plays, he's calling it out. It is a direct shot. But one thing my grandfather always told me as well, he said, once you find out who people really are, from that point on, you're wrong for getting mad at them being themselves. You see what I'm saying? Because they're just being themselves. Right. You can't get mad at anybody for being themselves. You already knew what they were going to do. They already knew what this is. The reason this is, he's looking in the eyes of a pit bull come upcoming game.
That's true.
You do not want to set anything off. This guy is on a tear. You're right. Russell Westbrook is never talking about Golden State. He doesn't care. That's the type of competitor he is.
Not talking about his relationship with Kevin, what it was, what it could have been.
None of that. And he made love Kevin off the court. I know Kevin. I met Kevin. Kevin's a great guy. Again, you know what I'm saying? Again, Kevin is just Kevin. But I'm closer to Westbrook. I know Westbrook a little bit more. And one of Allen Iverson's favorite players is Russell Westbrook because of the intensity and the eyes and the viciousness. You're about to go up against a pet bull. You're trying your best in any way to say, yo, we don't have no beef. We don't have, because this guy is about to come out on fire.
You got beef. And you know what, Kevin?
Come on.
Every time Kevin opens his mouth, another toe pops out because his foot's in his mouth. And ever since he's left, if you're a free agent, you fulfilled your obligation to the OKC Thunder.
You sure did.
Now, if you want to leave, you can leave. You do not even have to offer a reason why you left. If you want to, you can say, guys, I did all I could in OKC. It was great. I enjoyed the fans. I enjoyed playing with my teammates. The front office was always great for me. But for my basketball career, I feel this provides me a better opportunity to accomplish what I need to get accomplished. Boom, done with it. Did you call Russell? That's unimportant. Why you left? That's unimportant. But why do you continuously open these doors and then get mad when people walk in and ask you questions about the door you opened?
Well, you're not probably used to having people not like you. No. I'm saying that, but I'm saying as his life. Like Kevin Durant has probably always been a superstar since he could pick up a basketball.
Absolutely.
And when you get that, people love you.
Right.
People love you all through high school, all through summer league, all through college. People love you. You know what I'm saying? He went to Texas.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Come on. I mean,
they retired in Jersey after just 1 year.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. So everybody's loving you. Now all of a sudden, they're looking at you with a side eye because of the moves you made, and you're trying to justify yourself sometimes when you're not used to that position. And in fairness to Kevin Durant, maybe he's getting asked these questions. He don't have to comment. You're absolutely right. But we know that if we're sitting there, reporters are asking. And if he makes any comment on that, that's what's going to lead the story. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Skip, before you go, I want to hear Skip on this. Here's the problem, is that for the longest time, we had this perception of Kevin Durant. He was goody-goody.
Right.
He was the guy. See, we thought Russell Westbrook.
Not me.
was the Joker.
Not me.
We thought Kevin was Batman. And all along, we had it wrong. We had it wrong. And because like you said, Kevin Durant.
Mentally, though.
Kevin Durant is speaking truthfully and honestly.
Right.
We never saw this side of Kevin Durant. We just looked at Russell. Oh, he's selfish. He should just pass the ball to Kevin Durant. Kevin is so laid back. He's not getting upset at Russell. Look at him defending Russell when they asked him about Steph Curry. All along, he had us fooled. He had us fooled. But see, hey, like you say, if you let any person talk long enough, they will crystallize and reveal their very person.
Correct.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we always looked at Kevin as big brother to little brother Russell.
It's the reverse.
But it's the reverse.
Yep.
The bigger brother, the bigger
big
man
brother.
is the little guy.
Right.
And the little guy is mentally tougher than the taller guy.
Way
Mentally tougher. And the biggest difference between these two humans is that Russell Westbrook does not care what you think or you think or you think or I think. He just does not care.
No.
He's going to do what he does as hard as he can do it. And he pays no attention to the outside world. Kevin Durant, to a fault, cares deeply what you think and what you think.
Because he's never been in that position
Deeply.
before.
He got rabbit ears.
It's rabbit ears, and it's why he's not that alpha guy. He's not the leader. He's not the takeover guy. He's good in Golden State, and he's leading them in scoring. He's scoring like 29 a game. You know, he's playing great. You know,
Right.
Absolutely.
He's
No
in
pressure.
a comfort zone because he's surrounded
And no pressure.
by
Great.
alphas. You know,
Yes.
like right. Steph's an alpha,
Steph.
and I think Draymond's
Draymond.
got
Yeah.
alpha.
Draymond is King Alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I think it's just no pressure, like you're saying. But he also knows when you've been playing with a guy their whole life, you understand them. Let's take basketball off the table. Let's go into the locker room. When you've been playing with a guy and you're back there in the locker room, you know what gets that guy pumped. You done already talked to him.
Right.
You know if he's mad at the next team for what little thing or for whatever. So if you find yourself in that other locker room, you know what's going to trigger that guy off over there. Right. So right now, I think he's trying to do damage control because of that game's coming up. Because again, if you are so close, that ain't what we getting from Westbrook.
Yeah.
Westbrook is not saying that, and I'm just saying, like, I agree, and I'm not judging the relationship because we don't know until Westbrook speaks. But right now, we not getting that from Westbrook. We not every time we get from Westbrook, he frowns and man, get on out of here with them questions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
was it ever a friendship or was it teammates? Two things are mutual. They're not mutually exclusive.
I think maybe they was at a certain point, and then maybe they just became okay. I see how you're gonna be, and I don't know who's saying that to the other, but I can see that going down. Like, yo, okay, we came here together, but now, all right. I see what it is, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like them two, they're going to go at it. But the thing about it, I believe Westbrook knows more about how to stop Kevin Durant than Durant knows how to stop Westbrook. That's my thing. If any can give insight to the other team on what they should do, I believe that Westbrook can give better insight, and Oklahoma City have a better chance of building something structurally to stop Durant, more so than Golden State can to stop Westbrook, because you can't stop a pit bull.
Yeah, he go when he makes his mind up, says, you know what? On this drive, I'm getting to the basket.
Right.
He'll go through you, around you, over
He will.
you. So it ain't no,
You love to play with those guys.
I will shuffle my feet. I'm going to stay in front of him. When Russell says I'm going to the basket.
Yes. You take the mistakes and all. You take the mistakes and all, and sometimes that does get you into place. But if it's one thing you cannot teach, is heart and urgency. You cannot tell somebody when it's urgent. You have to feel it.
Last quick point. There was definitely authentic off-the-court love between these two.
Okay.
Now, Russell went ahead and got married and sort of started a new life.
Right.
But the issues resulted when their entourages or their crews or whatever you want to say, they pitted them against each other. You know, like they were. I know it.
Come on,
I got good
not
sources in
entourage
Oklahoma City.
Oh well, I'm not okay. Say no
Yep.
more. Say no
do.
more. I feel that again, but this guy number 0. He to me, he's going to be the MVP. To me, it's going to be between between 3 people. Him, Kawhi.
Yeah, after you jinxed my Spurs yesterday, you
I said
jinxed
4.
them.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
Him,
don't worry.
Kawhi, Westbrook, Kawhi, Anthony Davis, and Kyrie Irving.
For MVPs?
Anthony Davis, he might not win but 20 games. He ain't going to be.
But when we're talking about MVP, he still.
Wait a second. You didn't mention the all-time top 5 player who plays for Cleveland.
LeBron, he's always in discussion.
Oh, okay.
You can always.
We
we don't have to mention him.
Yeah. Well, he's always up. You could give it to him. Nobody would be mad. It's like Michael Jordan every year. Michael Jordan could have won MVP every year.
The Warriors responded yesterday to images of LeBron James's party over the weekend that showed tombstone cookies with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson's names on them. Thompson said, "Yeah, I don't get it, because I'm not dead."
Oh,
Kevin Durant added, "I wasn't here last year, but I obviously know from being on the team, you don't want to see nothing like that. None of that bleep matters until you duke it out on the court." Shannon, LeBron is your guy.
Absolutely, my guy.
Did LeBron go too far with the Halloween cookies?
No, he didn't go far enough. He needed some more cookies for Steve Kerr and Bob Myers. Before all that, I have my crack research staff to pull something from me.
Wait, your Heisman winner, Steve Owens?
Can we pull this? Can we pull this footage, please?
Uh-oh.
Hey, Nelly, this gonna be good.
Cavaliers? Nope. We won? Yeah. They suck? Yeah. We here? Yeah. They not? No.
Obviously, people have feelings, and people's feelings get hurt, even if they're called a bad word. I guess his feelings just got hurt.
Oh, Nelly! You see,
Hey.
everybody. But I know, you know what I noticed?
Come on.
And I'm good at jokes. I got 1,000 jokes. I'm on number 8 right now, so I got a bunch of them left. Jokes are not nearly as funny if they're about you or something you like.
Oh, come on.
See, everybody would keep.
Same thing make you laugh, make you cry.
Now, when Marcus, when hold on, I'm gonna get to Draymond. But I want to take Klay Thompson. Oh, I guess his feelings got hurt. You know, in basketball, this is a man's game. You know, you talk trash. His feelings got hurt. Marcus Spates, who's no longer on the team, he's with the Clippers. He tweeted out a picture of a baby bottle. Every network picked it up. It was running with it. Key. Oh, that's funny. Steph Curry, on his first return visit to Cleveland after they won the championship, I hope the locker room still smell like champagne. Don't we just love Steph Curry? And Braun was just sitting back there.
That boy cold.
Braun said, "Oh, I got something for y'all. Now.
He's got coffin cookies. That's what he's got. I got coffin cookies.
Skip.
That's going to put him in their place.
I'm gonna give you your chance. Hold on. Steve Kerr, Coach of the Year. He comes back, went Coach of the Year, coaching half the year. He doing all this yak, talking about his assassin, Steph Curry. Bob Myers, we're revolutionizing the game of basketball. We're light years ahead of everybody else.
Light years must be short
Light
these days.
years.
That was actually the owner who said that, but go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
But anyway, okay. Now, Kevin Durant.
Right.
You were no part about this. But since you took it there, that 3-1, that's also that band that he had on there with the Skeletons, that also relates to Kevin Durant because they blew a 3-1 lead in the Western Conference Final. And LeBron said, hold up, KD. Since you want to bump your gums and join in some of this, you don't want to see me.
Well.
Whether we lace it up, in 21 meetings, 17-4. You know what we did to you in the finals, Kevin Durant.
Yes, sir.
So don't make me come see you.
Don't make me come down there.
All this talking. All this talking now, Skip.
Joy, don't want.
Now we doing all this talking.
not.
I told you. Bro said, I told y'all I'm the baddest man on the planet.
Yeah.
Of 7 billion people that breathe oxygen.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
can touch me on this basketball court.
I'm
so
with them.
Kevin Durant, you go join up with Steph Curry.
Yeah.
You go join with Klay Thompson, Draymond. You get all you want to, but you still gonna have to come see the king.
Listen, know that, because ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. You know what I'm saying? And that's good to know, because if I bump my head, I'm crying, you're laughing.
So you say the rabbit's got the gun now?
The rabbit's
So
He got-
LeBron's the rabbit?
It ain't no regular gun. He got a
Well, I mean, no, I'm actually with the OG Shannon on this one. I think
He is OG.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I think this is light compared to what they were doing. He just made cookies. Like he didn't make
Who don't love
he didn't
cookies?
make videos, he didn't make rap songs, he didn't remix rap songs. Shout out to the OG E40, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's yep. But and Klay, and I love Klay, and I think Klay is like one of the best underrated. He might be the best defender and you know what I'm saying?
Him, Kawhi, Bron, the best two-way players.
Yeah. But so, you know, I see where Clay is partially coming from, but again,
He took it there.
ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Come on with it, Skip.
By the way, Draymond was really good at that. You could have recorded that, right? That would
Oh,
have sold.
now you want to record it.
Draymond, keep rebounding, big homie. Keep rebounding. That's okay. That's okay.
Keep his day
I'm
job.
thinking of marketing some coffin cookies with Shannon on it.
That's okay.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to say what I told you yesterday. Your man can be an insufferable front runner.
Oh,
when
my
the
God.
rabbit's got the gun, he can be a rabbit. You know, like, and somewhere right now, Draymond is laughing and saying he's exactly who and what I called him that night. That's what he's saying. I promise you. That's
King.
their side. Yeah, King. He called him a king.
That's not what he called him.
He started with a B, but that's okay.
That's okay.
And the point is, here's what bothers me about LeBron. If he had done to Golden State what my Spurs did to LeBron's Heat team, which is blow them off the floor by a record finals margin in 2014,
Well, you know
I
you
would
go
say you can gloat all you want. But when Draymond has to get suspended and Bogut has to get hurt for you to come back from 3-1, I'm not sure I would be beating my chest quite as hard as LeBron appears to be beating his, going to coffin cookies and 3-1 skeleton band. That just
Man.
and I just
Well, nobody ever gives LeBron, say, when his team ain't there. He had to play without Kyrie before.
Kevin
He had to
Love.
play without Kevin Love before.
okay,
You
but
never,
nobody
you never give
nobody
him that.
Well, Golden State didn't gloat all the
They was
offseason.
going
What you mean?
Did not?
What do you think? Yup. No.
Well, but that
know
was
better
this
than that.
time. That was this year.
Skip, trust me,
No, that was at the parade. That was at the parade
after,
when
okay,
yeah.
all right.
Bro,
Yeah.
Skip.
All right,
Skip,
all right,
talk
I'll
about
give
But
you
the
that
Klay
They
Thompson
gloating.
clip was
that
was
was
this
after
year.
the game
That was
4.
after LeBron got
Okay,
suspended.
yeah,
That was
right.
after
But the song, the rap song that we were talking about,
yeah.
that's after they just beat his team without his star point guard and without his star power forward.
all right, that's
so
fair.
so you just beat them like in. Now here he is. He whooped you with your whole team. He whooped you with your whole team so bad that you went and got arguably the
third
best
best player in the league.
in the league to come to the team, which you know that still remains to be seen how that's going to work out. But
Yes,
I don't even think they needed him.
Yes.
To be honest, I don't think they needed him.
Nelly, yeah, LeBron lost. But tell me the team that beat a 73-9 team with a two-time MVP going for a repeat championship.
Wait.
The greatest accomplishment in the history of basketball.
Wait, was
LeBron
the
James.
two-time MVP? Was he healthy? Was Steph Curry healthy?
Doesn't
Oh,
matter.
now he wasn't healthy.
It doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay, it doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
How do you know it
Doesn't
wasn't
matter.
healthy?
Skip.
I watched him limp through the
Skip.
previous 2 rounds. He
Don't
couldn't
nobody-
even play.
Show me where on the championship list that there's an asterisk by somebody was hurt. It doesn't matter.
Let me
If somebody's always hurt. It's the
Nelly,
NBA season.
Nelly,
Don't
let me
nobody
ask
want to
you a
hear that.
question. Was he hurt when he dropped 41 on Portland and 17 in overtime? Was he hurt then? When he dropped 38 in Game 7 of the Western Cup, was he hurt then?
No.
He was only
He's
hurt
a
when the
bad
king
man.
went, but the king is coming.
Oh, that's Steph.
It's coming.
The king.
By the way, speaking of video, if I could signal our control room, I have a little piece of video from last
Bring
night
it up.
from gloating LeBron. How can this man do coffin
Miss free
cookies?
throw. He gonna miss free throw.
Can we see this, please? Wait. An all-time top 5 player in a game last night in Cleveland missed the rim on a free throw?
Yeah.
Seriously, I got a question.
It
Can I
happens.
ask this?
Yeah.
Oh, it happens?
It happens.
Do you think Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson
saying
or Larry
that
Bird...
name.
Wait a
We're
second.
saying
Wait a
that
second.
Michael
Okay,
Jordan
leave
name.
him out. Do you think Magic Johnson or Larry Bird ever
Larry
missed the
Bird?
rim? Missed the rim on a free throw their whole career?
So let me ask
Do
you
you think
this.
Steph
So that's
Curry's
what
ever
makes you
missed the
great.
rim?
That's what
Seriously,
makes you great. hitting
how
your
can
free
an
throws.
all-time top
Does
5
hitting your
player
free throws make you
miss
great?
the rim?
Hold on.
Are you
He
kidding
missed
me?
the rim.
Are you kidding me?
He missed the rim.
Hold on.
It's the equivalent of an air ball free throw.
Some of the all-time great quarterbacks have lined up under the guard.
That's not the same thing.
Yes,
Oh,
it
my
is.
goodness, Skip.
That's
You don't know
mental.
where you
That's
lining
not
up.
physical.
You
That's
try to-
mental.
You know what you're trying to do, Skip?
Okay,
Every
then. So, bro, some of the all-time quarterbacks have dropped back and the ball has flew out their hand.
An air ball free throw, you have
That's
complete
what I'm-
control. Did the
You
ball
have
slip?
complete control of the football when you
okay,
drop
'cause
back.
It might be wet or your hands sweaty.
Okay, so his hand might not have been sweaty?
Oh, please. Have you ever seen a great player miss the rim? They'll go their whole career and never miss the rim.
Hold on, time out, Nelly. You saw what he did here.
Y'all trying to tell me Michael Jordan
I
ain't
saw
never-
what he did.
Michael
I
Jordan
saw
ain't
what
never shot a air ball.
LeBron. Wait, LeBron James. LeBron
You see what he
James.
tried to do here?
LeBron
He tried-
James.
The question
He done
was,
resorted to
did
an air ball free throw.
An
LeBron
air ball
James-
free throw. Are you kidding
You
me?
can't win the argument because LeBron making cookies.
I just want to know.
Yeah, he should have made some cookies. He should have made some
Yo,
s'mores.
okay, this is
because they
terrible.
got gooey
How
stuff
can
in
this
the
man throw a Halloween
is
party
terrible.
and glow like that when he can't even hit the rim on a free throw? I'm just asking.
So what?
I'm just asking.
I meant to say marshmallows.
Marshmallows.
Come on.
He should have made
Mushrooms would be
s'mores
terrible.
cookies.
Joy.
Should have made s'mores
All
cookies.
right, listen,
Nelly.
Joy, we know how your feelings are about the king. Are you with Skip on this?
I mean, I'm just.
No. We know what your feelings are. Are you that petty? Are you that petty?
Petty.
Are you resorting
Petty,
to
it
an
was
air
blank.
ball?
It's
to-
funny that
Wait.
you mentioned petty because I just can't help but wonder. I wrote petty. So it says petty right there. Cookies is quite petty.
He
And if
should've-
you ask
Thank
me,
you, Joy.
I do agree
Thank
with Skip
you.
because it came down to
goodness.
the last minute of the game in Game 7.
And
I do believe Kyrie had to make the shot of a lifetime.
Who made the block?
So?
And the best defensive
made the block?
play in the history of the NBA had to be made in order for them to win this Game 7.
That's okay.
And you're making cookies.
You gotta help that.
I'm not a historian.
You know what?
I've never been accused of being a
I'm
historian.
mad.
But did Michael
Tell
Jordan
him.
ever make cookies with the names on them after he won?
Why y'all keep
kidding?
saying this
You
man's
know.
name? Leave God alone.
I'm just
They
saying.
try to undermine.
Leave God alone.
you. I'll
He
take
don't want
that.
to talk.
I'll
He
agree
don't
with
want to talk
They
to you.
try to undermine Braun. But I'm upset with Braun because he didn't make s'mores. He
Ah.
should have had something with marshmallows because we know they soft.
Ooh.
The whole, listen, and I said it, and I wanted to be
I hope
repeated.
it's on tape.
Golden
Yeah.
State Warriors
Yeah.
are softer than drugstore cotton.
Ooh, dip
Now
them
run
baby
tell
off.
that. Hey, Kevin Durant, you talk about lace them up and check the ball? Come see Braun Christmas.
Well, listen.
Steve
what-
Kerr should play that in the locker room
Come
just
see
before they
Braun
go
on
out on Christmas
listen,
Day.
I
Kevin
will
Durant,
say
come
something.
see Braun on Christmas.
I will say something.
Ho,
Nah.
ho, ho.
Steph has got heart. Steph
Soft.
Clay. Steph ain't soft.
S-O-
I can't go with that one, OG.
S-O-F-F-F-P.
No. I know what it's like to be the smallest man on the court. And the way that he plays, there's no way you can be soft playing the way he plays.
If
There's
you're 70,
no way.
if you're
No way you can.
73 and 9
No way.
in the regular season,
I can't say
if
that.
if you're up 3-1 and you got the MVP, the last time unanimous, there's never been a player of all the greats. Kareem got 6 MVPs. Magic, Will, LeBron, Bird, Oscar. None of them won it unanimously. And
No,
LeBron
I
came to
give you that.
town and took it. Say, give me what's
I
mine.
think people got caught up in the moment right there with that unanimous talk. It was the moment, and everybody be fearful. Who didn't vote for him? Why you didn't vote
Put
for him?
some
It was an
respect.
easy vote. That was an easy vote, and he deserved it. I'm not gonna say he didn't deserve it. He played lights out.
And he
Will
beat.
y'all put some spec on that?
He
man?
beat-
Nelly, can we get
LeBron don't care about
Wait a second,
MVP.
Joy's trying to
he
talk
beat
over
the
here.
Unanimous MVP, and then
Right.
he made some very cute cookies to brag about it.
He did.
He made the wrong kind of
Ooh,
cookie.
look at Queen Petty.
No mercy. There will be a Game 7 tonight on Fox after the Cubs beat the Indians 9-3 last night. Addison Russell tied a World Series record with 6 RBI, and the Cubs will try to become the 6th team ever to win a World Series after trailing 3-1.
Right.
So, Nelly, you did say yesterday that the Cubs would choke. Didn't
Joy,
quite happen.
You know what? I could tell. I could hear the disdain in your voice when you're talking. 9-3.
I'm just,
you know what I'm
I
saying?
have to exaggerate
No,
it a little
listen,
bit, but how impressed were you with the Cubs last night?
I was impressed from the standpoint. Listen, for the most part, I was right. I just picked the wrong team. I knew somebody was going to jump out early. I just thought it would be Cleveland. I thought with them being at home, they would be energized to come out the gate and definitely get this one over because, listen, face facts, straight up and down. The Cubs are a dangerous team. I just thought, that the Cleveland had a little bit more cohesiveness as a team together, to ride this out. I'm not saying that they're more talented, but I just thought that Cleveland had the better squad. The home run didn't really fear me all that way. I'll take that. Anytime you get a home run shot, that's a mistake. Pitcher, he could be pitching his butt off, but just make one mistake and somebody hits it out. So I wasn't pretty much on that. But when that ball landed in the outfield, when it landed in the outfield.
And speaking of choking, it seemed like maybe the home team choked
Yeah,
on that ball, right?
it seemed like the lights were a little bright at home.
Yeah.
It just seemed like the lights were a little bright at home, and I was hoping those lights were going to be bright for the Cubs fans, but it did not. And when that ball just landed, it was just like I was in the studio actually, and I'm watching as I'm recording. And when the ball landed, I just went back in the booth. When I came out the booth, they hit a grand slam. I said, you know what? I was already prepared for now. Let me prepare myself for now mentally. But, you know, I was hoping that Cleveland would jump out and show the energy that the Cubs had, and they didn't. The Cubs showed me something last night. They showed me they're a very, very resilient team. They showed me that they're not just happy to be there, so to speak, that they are, well, we all know that they're worthy to be there. I mean, they won the most games, but I just didn't, you know. And I'm from St. Louis, man. I'm from St. Louis. How can I root for them? How can I root for them?
Well, you can't, but you can call it the way you really see it.
I called it the way I really seen it. I thought, you know, that they would. You know what I mean? And we'll see what happens today. We've got our best chance today. Listen, Cleveland has their best chance today. They got the kid Hendricks going on the mound today. He's been really good, but he's been different as opposed to home and away. So I'm hoping this is, you know, no different than how he's been away. And I hope that pressure is just weighing on him, man. And he has no backpack. Go ahead. Help me out, OG.
I can't.
I know it. It's all good.
I was very impressed with the Cubs because if you think about it, if you look at this from top to bottom, they have the superior team. They have the superior bats. You got Bryant, Rizzo, Russell, Zobrist, Schwarber. Being back in the lineup is huge for this baseball team.
Especially in the two-hole.
Put him in the two-hole because he couldn't play any in Chicago.
Right.
They're a different team when he's in the lineup.
Confidence, too.
And now the pressure is all on the Indians. You're up 3-1.
Yeah.
You had a chance to close it out Sunday. Yes. You had a chance to close it out last night. So now you're still in your building because we saw 3-1 come from behind just a couple of months ago there with Skip. You're still mad about that, aren't you, Skip? We're not talking about. We're gonna talk about that later.
The Cubs haven't gotten any breaks. Draymond didn't get suspended.
The Cubs didn't get no breaks. No. That ball falling last night wasn't a break.
That was their fault. That wasn't the Cubs.
But you know the thing is, if you look, they played good game 2. The bats came somewhat alive, and then they cooled off. Now they put the back-to-back games in which they swung the bats really well. Yeah. Chris Bryant, 4 for 5. Skip, it's over. I feel really good about
I hope not.
I got the Cubs. I got the Cubs. I got a little concerned now. He did bring Chapman in. Chapman had to throw. You know, he's throwing.
Right.
See, he's throwing max effort. You don't throw 103, 105 miles an hour just throwing the ball up there. I mean, he's throwing from his toes.
Right.
So 62 pitches over the last 2 games.
One thing we don't know is we don't know what his limit is, though. We don't know what he's capable of. We never seen that. Because even when he was with the Reds, you know what I'm saying, and then he moved on to the Yankees, we never seen his maximum because neither one of those teams have been in clutch situations where they had to rely on him. Now, the Cubs relying on him.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, that concerns us about him going out there, but...
I give him 20 pitches tonight. And
he only threw 20 last night.
Yeah, but that's 62 over the last 2 games. I got a feeling tonight, his first couple of pitches, he might touch 105, 106, 107.
Oh, he's going to cut. If he gets in tonight, we might see something. He might throw this ball so hard, he might hurt himself.
Yeah.
So now you're on the Cubs bandwagon because you've gone back and forth.
Is that what he does?
Hold on.
Oh, y'all going to petty me. Y'all going to petty me, but you on the seesaw.
Hold on. Skip.
Yes.
Tell the truth now.
I'm telling the truth.
Y'all petty me.
You and I both picked the Cubs in 6, and now you want to talk about I'm flip-flopping.
But you were down on them the previous series.
Yes.
Thank you.
Skip, why you bringing up O's?
Well, I'm just saying.
He petty.
Now you feel really good about it.
I told you it's King Petty over here. Come on.
I said yesterday the Cubs were going to win last night and tonight, and I feel better about that than ever. So I'm right there with you on this one. This Cubs team is different, and I do have some history on my side because I did spend 3 years writing for the Chicago Tribune, and I wrote a whole lot about the Chicago Cubs. I also grew up a Cardinal fan, so I have perspective on this. All those good Cub teams of the past, they were victims of their fandom. It's the most pessimistic fandom in history is the Chicago Cubs fandom because they expect what can go wrong is going to go wrong.
And St. Louis fans, too.
What do you mean? St. Louis fans think the Cubs are going to go wrong.
Whatever going to go wrong for the Cubs will go wrong.
I know a whole lot of Cubs fans, and they're still today, as we speak, they're thinking, curse of the Billy Goat, curse of the Black Cat. They're thinking Steve Bartman, something's going to go wrong tonight because it's just how they've all grown up. They've been steeped in a tradition, and it's always lovable losers, right? Lovable losers. Like the Cardinals are lovable winners. The Red Sox fans, before they broke through in 04, they hated losing. I know a lot of Cubs fans who love losing because they like to cry in their beer at Murphy's. Like it's a culture of losing. They like to go to the season opener at Wrigley Field and say, wait until next year because we lost the first game of 162. And there are some out there, I promise you, who even right now are fearing winning tonight because they're not sure what to do with themselves next year. Wait, we're the defending world champions after 108 years. So that pessimism that grows at Wrigley Field, and I think that the team felt on the field at Wrigley Field in games 3, 4, and then they broke through in 5, obviously, to hang on. They don't feel that in Cleveland. They're free and easy and loose. This Cubs team is built better than any Cubs team I've certainly ever been around. I was around the Sammy Sosa, Kerry Wood Cubs team. But this one has a backbone. This one has resilience. This one believes what can go wrong will not go wrong, that it will go right. And they jumped out last night. That was impressive. They attacked right out of the box. Boom. And it's contagious. If Chris Bryant makes one swing on an 0-2 pitch on a big hanging curveball and jacks it, then all of a sudden it just lights up, and that lineup is going to catch fire. I love the way he's swinging the bat, Schwarber's swinging the bat, Addison Russell then just I don't know where he gets his power from, but man, he hit that ball a long ways for a little skinny shortstop, but he's got some muscle on him.
Well, I'm really hoping Cleveland has Bartman throw out the first pitch. They need to find him. They need to find Bartman.
Well, they need something.
They need him to throw out the first pitch.
You resorting to the Cubs.
I'm resorting to black cats and witchcraft right now.
You're going to need it.
That's what I'm resorting to. And again, and Kluber. Kluber. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You're Clubber, right?
No, I'm a clubber.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm a clubber, but I'm hoping Kluber is just like he's been all year, and I hope he's just lights out.
Well, he has been.
You know, Hendricks, again, that guy's been so good, but he's been way better at home and away from, Wrigley Field. He's had his problems. So I'm hoping that 2.9 ERA shows up today. And it shows up early.
He led all of baseball in ERA for the season. He's going to win the Cy Young.
Postseason and season is two different things. That doesn't matter.
Okay,
that doesn't matter. A la Kershaw. That'll show you that. You know what I'm saying?
He beat Kershaw head-to-head to close out that series.
Yeah, who hasn't beat Kershaw in the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? And he's probably one of the best pitchers of our generation.
Yes.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But he's, the playoffs is something different, man.
So here comes Kyle Hendricks, age 26, from Dartmouth College. Can barely top 90 miles an hour, rarely tops 90 miles an hour. Cutter, curveball, changeup, keep you off balance, outthink you. They call him the professor. I think he'll be perfect for a Cleveland Indians lineup that's going to be overcharged, overswinging, trying too hard to jumpstart that offense.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what he does when Cleveland gets on base, because they're going tonight. They're running. You better believe they're running tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get on, Davis, them boys get on tonight, they out of there. You can bet that. And then with him not throwing so hard, it's going to be tough on who's ever catching. I don't know who they got starting catching tonight. I don't know if it's going to be the OG, Ross, or if it's going to be the kid. So I don't know who they have starting tonight as catcher, but it's going to be pressure on them as well, because they get on, they got nothing to lose. If I'm Cleveland and I get on, I'm running. I'm running for everything I got.
Cubs got to keep this game out of the bullpen. As long as it doesn't get to the bullpen, they'll be fine. Skip, you don't want to see Miller. Nobody wants to see. Nobody in Chicago.
Not if you're down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So you could just think he might come in 4th, 5th, because you know he can go 4 innings. You know he can do that.
Yep.
Your best bet, if you're the Cubs, get out early. Don't make it a bullpen game, and then you don't have anything to worry about. But if you make it a bullpen game, you're not beating the Indians in the bullpen game because their bullpen is so much better than yours.
Cleveland got to make them throw strikes. I think they got to come out. They got to make the young kid. They got to make the kid throw a lot of pitches early. Don't go up there hacking that stuff that's not in the strike zone. Even if he's throwing, you know what I'm saying? Just make him pitch a lot. Get that pitch count up to around 40, 50, try to you know what I'm saying, early. You got to get that pitch count up early, so he's starting to sweat and he's starting to think about it a little bit, and then the coaches are thinking about it, because, last night to bring in Chapman, I just was like...
I guess he wasn't taking any chances, but
I wasn't taking no chances, but the thing about it is you had a perfect opportunity to let him rest. And again, we don't know if he's capable of doing this because we never saw him. He may be capable of pitching 3-4 days in a row at a high quality. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know.
I had absolutely no problem with the way Joe Madden managed that game. I would have gone.
No, he's
with
playing to
Chapman at
win.
that
He's
point.
playing to win.
Hey, to get to a Game 7 for the Chicago Cubs, who haven't done this in 100
All
years,
hands on deck.
maximize your chances of slamming the door on a Cleveland offense that has been known to explode in late innings in that ballpark. Just shut them down, take their will away. And I would have gone to him at that point because I look at his numbers, and Aroldis Chapman has been better on no rest than 1 or 2 days rest.
Right.
So maybe he's just in the groove. Again, he's not throwing 100 pitches a night. As you said, 62, so we went 42, then a day off, and then 20. You don't think he could give you 3 outs
Come
tonight?
on, man. Pitch count is something that just came about. Like when I grew up, there wasn't no pitch count. You know what I'm saying? Nolan Ryan get out there, he's gassing.
Bob Gibson.
You know what I'm saying?
Let him finish.
Well, I'm not that old.
Yeah.
I'm not that old. But I get
You
it.
love
I get it. I get it. Of course.
By the way,
love it.
can I point out what you just handed me?
course.
On your birthday, you gave me a present. A
Right.
ball signed by the greatest pitcher ever,
Ah.
St. Louis Cardinals, Bob Gibson. Thank you.
Well, I
very
had
much.
that for you for your birthday when you
Oh,
were
okay.
at
Oh,
another
back in the
place.
day. Yep.
Another place. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I didn't get a chance to bring you
And
that.
Lou Brock started to sign it.
Lou
and
Brock,
touched it.
Lou
So
Brock
I-
touched it,
I've
and
got
you got
double.
the L.
Yeah.
You got the L from Lou
Yeah.
Brock, but I was like, Lou, listen, I don't want to disrespect you,
But we don't really need.
he said Bob Gibson. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
that's it. But no.
And by the way, Corey Kluber is attempting to do something for the first time since, this is way before your time,
Okay.
but Mickey Lolich beat Bob Gibson in Game 7 of 1968, and that gave Mickey Lolich Games 1, 4, and 7 of a World Series, and Kluber's trying to win 3 games in a World
same
Series
way.
tonight.
I listen, for all purposes, Cleveland's got the best. I think Cleveland has the advantage in the pitching. That's just me tonight. That's not saying that I'm right, obviously, because
Yeah, because they got Kluber bullpen.
right. If they can get it, like you're saying, if they can get it to Miller,
Okay, but remember, if Hendricks, let's just say he could give you 4 good innings, you got John Lester ready to go, you got Lackey ready to go.
everybody's on deck. First of all, everybody's on deck.
Go to I believe if he can give you 4 innings, I believe they go to Lackey before they go to Lester.
Maybe. But it's
I mean,
fine.
I would.
But
I
if you
would.
bring on Lester, then you're inviting trouble if they get on base.
Yes,
If
that's
you,
why
if
we
you,
go
if
Lackey.
you,
hold
if
him
you,
on
if
base.
you,
I
if you
agree.
bring in Lester,
Good
you're
point.
inviting trouble once they get on base. Because I'm telling you, they're going to be running. They're going to be running. They ain't got nothing to lose. They're going to, you know what I'm saying? Jailbreak.
What happens if
Small ball.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, we say debate on here.
Okay.
We skipping out on the argument. We debate.
Okay.
Let's just say, for the sake of debate, the game starts out like it did last night. Cubs get up 2-0, 3-0. That's a lot of pressure. Them 50,000 fans in there. We had a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, but you know what? I trust Cleveland to come back before I trust the Cubs to come back. I think the Cubs play better in front, and I think Cleveland probably plays better coming from behind. I think they're a little bit more poised when they're down. Because even last night, I still didn't see the panic in them and the urgency. I mean, they had a couple of at-bats that, you would think, you know what I'm saying? But again, I think if they can get Hendricks to throw a lot of pitches early, let that pressure weigh in on him because, he's just a kid himself, and we'll see what that does.
Okay, so what's your gut feeling?
My gut feeling, my gut feeling is I'm still going with Cleveland. I mean, and again, I don't want it to be my bias talking, but I still think that at the end of the day, what can go wrong will go wrong for the Cubs. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that.
Guesstimate a score for us.
3-1.
3-1 Cleveland. What do you got?
3-1.
My gut's good. I took probiotic this morning, so my
Come
gut
on,
is good.
OG. Ain't nobody saying all that. You know what I'm saying?
I got 6-3 Cubs.
6-3.
6-3 Cubs.
That's a
they
lot.
can score 6 runs, so they're going to just beat up on Corey Kluber?
I don't believe, like you said, it's only been done once.
Yep.
So I'm going to take the odds. I'm going to say it doesn't get done again. Kluber doesn't win Game 7. I like the Cubs big.
I say way more pressure tonight on the home team than on the visiting team. And I say the visiting team jumps out to a 3-1 lead and hangs on 3-2, with Chapman shutting it down. Maybe the last 5 outs will be Aroldis Chapman.
Well, the reason I say that the pressure is more on the Cubs, who does this World Series mean more to? It's not really Cleveland because the Cavs just bailed out the Indians a little bit. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I just think the more pressure is Cubs. This is the history. This is what everybody's there. You got all the stars in the audience. You got all the fan base, the old Cubs, the Hawk. and everybody else in there. And
But you had a 3-1 lead. Nelly, you had 3-1.
but that don't mean you don't win. It's been people that had 3-1 and win game sevens. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that don't shake it, because you still got to win 4 games. That just means the Cubs play good. They've won 2 in a row. They don't have to win 3 in a row, and I'm hoping. Oh my God, I'm hoping.
And if LeBron, the Yankee fan, shows up tonight, that could jinx the home
Stop
team,
it.
right? He's a Yankee
Well,
fan.
I think they've won every game LeBron has been at, right?
Except for last night.
No mercy. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones spoke yesterday about his quarterback situation and said Dak Prescott has the, quote, hot hands, while Tony Romo is making progress in his attempt to return from a back injury. The Cowboys will take their 6-game winning streak to Cleveland on Sunday, and Jones talked about the team's chemistry. Let's take a listen.
We obviously think that that's a great situation to be in, know it's a great situation to be in, have to pinch yourself to think it, and so you want to be very mindful of what you've got going, which right now we've got a lot of chemistry going, and that has got to be really recognized if you're making a decision. Tony has no issue with doing what's best for the team. There's absolutely no issue doing what's best for the team. When you've got it going, we know these things can be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for everybody involved. We'll look at it that way.
We're joined by 2-time Super Bowl champ Ray Lewis. Ray, welcome back.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Glad to have you.
Yeah.
So let's say the Cowboys were to name Tony Romo the starter.
Yeah.
If you were on that team, how would you keep the locker room together?
You know, it's really interesting, Joe, because I don't think keeping the locker room together is like really important, right, at this point, because it's more about more about the front office than anything else. The players, nobody ever gets tired of winning. Nobody. So no matter who it is that comes in and can help the team win, they're gonna ride that wave. We lived it. I lived it my entire career. Whoever it is, the next guy, next man up, next man up. But you know, I think we keep bringing in the locker room, and you have to understand where the position that the locker room is in. The locker room is in position to follow Dak Prescott right now. That's the only thing that matters. Romo, right now, you're an afterthought. Be a great teammate. I get it. Play your role. Your role now is to keep leading this young guy. But right now, I don't know the last time, I just asked Shannon, I don't know the last time the Cowboys has been in this position. And if something was to change, then you have to ask yourself a real question. Did I mess up what possibly we haven't seen since the late 90s, mid 90s, early 90s? And that's I think the biggest thing about what makes teams really grow is that it's always next man up. It's always next man up, no matter who it is. You go back to Bledsoe when Bledsoe loses his job to Tom Brady. Next man up, whoever it is, right? You go when people trade somebody and people get rid of somebody and say, how do you replace that? If he's the fit for this team, which I believe Dak Prescott, I believe Elliott, and I believe now bringing Dez Bryant back, you have a young core of young guys who know what it takes to win. And when you have that going, if Jerry Jones, and I'm telling Jerry right now, if you mess that up, you will never be the same again as an organization. I said the same thing 2 years ago when the Seattle Seahawks threw the ball on the 1-yard line. I said they may never be the same again. I said the same thing 4 years ago when the San Francisco 49ers played the Baltimore Ravens in the Super Bowl. If they didn't win it, they may never be the same again, because when you're hot and you have that opportunity in this business, it don't come around every other week, every other day, every other year. You have to ride it. And I think what this young kid has shown is it's time for a new sheriff in Dallas. I'm calling for a new sheriff, and that new sheriff is Dak Prescott.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As being a leader in a locker room like this, and having been one of the better players, I would try to convey to my teammates that they feel this gives us the best opportunity to win. But they're going to say, well, Shannon, we're winning. How can you give somebody a better opportunity to win than winning? So now they're back in a situation. I was like, look, guys, we just got to trust the process. Yep. We believe that Jerry is doing what's best for the football team. But the guys in that locker room, they see how well Dak is playing. Jerry Jones is doing a huge disservice to Dak. He said he has the hot hand. That leads me to believe that he thinks this can fizzle out. And he's waiting for the opportunity to reinsert Tony Romo into the starting lineup.
It's going to be a mistake, but keep going. Absolutely. Yeah, it will.
A hot hand is going 13 for 13, or you playing a game. 7, you don't have the hot hand.
Right.
This is more than a hot hand. This guy's touched on something. He's resonating with his teammates, and they're following behind him.
Yep.
Now, Jerry Skip, he can't help himself. Sometimes, they say when players, they have this concussion protocol and they have independent spotters because we need someone to protect the players from themselves. There's no one that can protect Jerry from himself. He's going to do it because he's had too many opportunities to say, Dak is our guy, and we're moving forward with Dak. But he won't do it because he wants to put Tony back in there because if this thing goes according to plan, he wants Tony Romo to get that success because it will have validated everything he's ever said and ever done on the behalf of Tony Romo.
Yeah, but Tony Romo never done what you're talking about he's looking for.
Exactly. But just let's say for the sake of argument, he inserts Tony and they continue on this path. They're going to forget about what Dak Prescott did.
I don't know if you can. I don't see, and this is where I am with Tony Romo right now. I don't know if you can forget what Dak Prescott is doing right now because Romo has never did that.
I know, but here's the thing, though, Ray. If you you take Dak out, you're only as good as your last start.
That's it.
So if Dak's not playing anymore, out of sight, out of mind. And for Jerry to say, "Oh, Tony Romo is happy with that," no, he's not.
No.
Starting quarterbacks are not happy with other players. There's a lot of positions, but that guy has the most ego. They read everything. They hear everything. So you thought Brett Favre was happy when they drafted the first-round pick because they drafted him for a reason. See, Tony Romo was always happy with the backups because they played so bad and he knew as long as
his jaw was always straight. He was good.
Straight.
He was good.
He got a guy now.
Yes, sir.
They 6-1. They haven't missed a beat without you,
Yes,
Tony Romo.
yes, sir.
Tony who?
Yep.
Skip. He gonna blow it, Skip.
So the true question is then, can Romo win you a Super Bowl? Because I ain't seen that yet. I ain't seen that yet. That's the question. Skip.
Okay, as a lifelong Cowboy fan, I concluded about 3 years ago they would never win a Super Bowl with Tony Romo. He did have one great year, and I don't throw that around loosely. His 2014, 2 years ago, he was big time. He was in the MVP discussion. They went 12-4. So to your question, has he ever done that? Well, he did do that in that year, and they won a home playoff game by hook or crook against Detroit, and then they went to Green Bay, and I think they got
One in about 20 years, 18
right.
years.
Okay, but that's correct.
Yeah.
Now, here's my worst case scenario to what both of you are saying right now. Do I believe Dak can go win at Cleveland? I do. I believe in Dak Prescott. He is the flip side of Tony Romo. He has brought stability to that position. Tony is high risk, high reward. You can get some high reward, but it is high risk and it is volatile, man. You never know what you're going to get. With Dak, it's always the same. And even in his worst moment, which was last Sunday night, he played his best game so far because he pulled it out of the fire. Let's go 2 weeks from Sunday. They're going to Pittsburgh. You know how it is at Pittsburgh. Ben will be back. I assume he might be back this Sunday, but I'm pretty sure he'll be back for the Dallas game. Let's just do the hypothetical worst case. Let's say Ben lights up that defense, which is highly possible, and let's say Dak has just an okay day and they lose by a couple of touchdowns. Dallas, Texas, where I worked for a long time, it is prone to nuclear overreaction in the media, and Jerry is a victim and prisoner of that overreaction. And on Monday morning, if they lose at Pittsburgh, and they would, at that point, they would go into that game 7-1, and then that would 7-2. So there'd be 7 games left. So a lot of season would be left. You don't think he'd be prone to do what you just suggested?
Absolutely.
Go back to Tony Romo.
And then do what, Skip?
Well,
sit there and watch the playoffs again?
Well, I'm with you on this. I don't want to, but now back to Joy's original question to you. Let's just say Ray Lewis, they don't have a Ray Lewis on their team because really nobody does, but the truth is, if you're in that locker room, if that happened, how would you try to finesse your locker room? Because it's going to be split.
Yeah.
Because remember, Tony's got some close friends in that locker room.
You know how it's going to be split?
Tell me.
Because they're looking at Tony Romo, white quarterback. They're looking at Dak Prescott, black quarterback. I mean, what more? I just want to know. And Jerry, if Jerry could just sit down and tell me, what more could Dak do to convince you that he should be in the starting lineup for the rest of the season?
He's already doing what Tony Romo can't do.
Because here's the thing. T.O. had this very, very problem with Tony Romo and Jason Witten. He said, you calling
are
play.
Correct.
You're calling plays. I know because I see y'all diagramming plays on the sidelines. Y'all are roommates. I know, I hear plays being called, but somehow my number isn't being called. I'm going to do everything I can to keep the guys in order. But at some point in time, my credibility is on the line.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, winning and my credibility will trump winning, because I'm not going to do anything, because I want these guys to always believe what I'm telling them, and I'm telling them the absolute truth.
Right.
And they know, I believe if I were to come to them now and say, you know what, guys, Jerry believed this is right, well, they're going to say, Shannon, you don't even believe that. You be in the company,
Which
man.
means you have to be, and now let me answer both your questions, which means as a leader, and we did this before, so
Yes.
this is not freaking new to us.
Yes.
We did this. As a leader, you have to tell the truth. And the truth is, Dak Prescott must continue to play.
Tell Jerry Jones the truth.
Absolutely. Listen, Jerry, you're not down here doing what we do. You don't understand what chemistry on the field means. Let me tell you something.
Unless you've been in that locker room.
Unless you've been in that locker room, this is what players and this is what owners and coaches do not understand. When you step across that white line, nothing that you said on the other side matters.
Nope.
The only thing that matters is what each man feels about the next man. And if you take that away from the Dallas Cowboys right now, I'm telling you, we can watch this drama play out, right? Or you can let this young lion who came across the Serengeti and said, I see you didn't take care of your family well, so I'm going to come take over your pride.
Correct.
That's what Dak has done.
Yep.
And now Jerry Jones has to be okay with saying, now a new king is in town.
That's the difference between Coach Belichick and Robert Kraft.
Yeah, that's the difference.
And that's the difference between Jerry Jones and Jason Garrett.
That's the
Because they took a Tom Brady. And Tom Brady, in the 6-7 games he played, wasn't close to what Dak Prescott's
No, they were
playing now.
5-5 when Bledsoe was healthy and ready to play.
And Bledsoe had taken them to a Super Bowl 5 years earlier.
Pre-Belichick.
Right,
Yeah.
So he had a resume.
Yeah, I had a resume.
But at the end of the day, resume only gets you so far.
So far.
What are you doing right now?
Right.
There's nothing. I don't believe if Jerry believes that, you know, if we had Romo in the starting lineup, we'd be 7-0. He's fooling himself. I believe this is the best possible, best case scenario is 6-1.
Right.
Play this. Let this young man stop saying a hot hand. Stop saying, you know, we got to ride it, because you're shortchanging Dak. Because you're saying, oh, he's hot right now, but he could be cooled off, and that will be my opportunity.
Right.
No, he's playing well enough. I've seen enough. I'm not saying the guy's going to be a Hall of Famer, but I've seen enough for this year. He should remain the starter for the Dallas Cowboys.
I agree. I can tell you right now, I will bet you, if you pulled Jerry Jones and Jason Garrett aside, they would tell you that Tony Romo is the better thrower of the football than Dak Prescott. And you know what I tell them? I don't care. This guy can win.
I don't need a thrower. I need a winner.
Thank you.
I need somebody that can get me to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And over the last 18, 19 years, instead of getting there once and winning one first-round playoff game, I need somebody to take me to the second round.
Well, what you wonder, what you brought up of someone going to Jerry Jones, is there anyone in that Dallas locker room that has the cachet to go to Jerry Jones and say, I'm the leader of this locker room and you have to keep Dak Prescott in?
There's one, Tony Romo.
No mercy. The first college football playoff rankings of the season were released yesterday. Alabama, Clemson, and Michigan are the top three, and to the surprise of many, Texas A&M was ranked fourth ahead of unbeaten Washington. College football analyst Joel Klatt is with us. Hi, Joel.
What's going on?
Happy to have you back.
Yeah, it's good
Do
to
you
be here.
agree with the committee's rankings?
No. I mean, this is quite a joke. And I understand you got to, drive interest. It's basically like a reality show now every Tuesday. They're just throwing hot garbage against the wall and seeing if it sticks. Listen, by any metric that you use, Texas A&M is not even close to Washington, whether it's on the field or off. And I understand that there's three criteria that I'm going to essentially lament here during this process. First and foremost is the committee makeup, guys. There's 12 people on this playoff committee. 5 of them are sitting athletic directors. So they're going to value, it's human nature to do this, by the way, but they're going to value their own work, right? What is the only thing that they contribute to college football? Schedules. So that's what they're going to value in the committee room as well, non-conference schedules. And even though Texas A&M has Prairie View and New Mexico State and UT San Antonio, for some reason they're all of a sudden rated ahead of Washington, which I understand has a poor non-conference, but at least they've got a 10th Power 5 game in Rutgers on their schedule as opposed to what Texas A&M has. So that's that part. Then you look at on the field. Texas A&M has actually been outgained in 3 games this season. 5 teams had more first downs than they did. 2 teams gained more yards against Alabama than they did. So they're not even that great of a team on the field. As evidence, a 3-5 team in UCLA took them to overtime on their home turf, and another team that should be 3-5 but is actually 5-3, Tennessee, also took them to overtime on their turf, having turned the ball over 7 times. My last thing that I really think is quite intrusive to this whole process is the 2 people that I thought should be arguing for Washington in that room. Tyrone Willingham and Rob Mullins. They're West Coast representatives along with Condoleezza Rice. First and foremost, Tyrone Willingham probably should be recused since he coached at Washington, but he's not for some reason. He was 11-37 as the Washington head coach. The last time he coached a football game in college football, guys, he was 0-12 as the University of Washington head coach. So I'm sure that there's some animosity towards Seattle on this program on Tyrone Willingham's case. And the last thing is, the athletic director for the Pac-12 that's supposed to be representing them is Rob Mullins, who's a direct rival with Washington that saw the Huskies put 70 points on his Ducks in his home stadium this year. No one was arguing for Washington. They got completely jobbed in this first ranking.
This ranking is some bull diggity. I would like to think, Joel, that Ty Willingham and the athletic director of University of Oregon would be more professional in the whole bias. But hey, it's human nature. You fired me. I might not say anything publicly, but I'm a little disappointed. I agree with you. Texas A&M against ahead of Washington, I'm always going to take the undefeated as opposed to the one defeated. But the one I can't wrap my mind around, how is Ohio State ranked in front of Louisville? Louisville lost to Clemson in Clemson. Ohio State lost to Penn State.
I get it.
Once you get me past the Washington, Texas A&M, and you get me to the Ohio State, Louisville, and then we can sit down and we can talk about everything else. I got no problem with the first 3. But for Louisville to be ranked behind Ohio State after losing to Penn State, and Clemson is in the top 3.
Well, they're number 2. And by the way, their athletic director sits on the committee as well. These athletic directors are a problem. There's no reason, Skip, why we should have sitting athletic directors as committee members. It just is totally biased.
Let me skip on that thing. Let me skip. Undisputed.
No, just let me.
Oh, whoa. There ain't no iron team, but there's an ME, huh?
And then Skip.
You both have lost me on this. And as much respect when it comes to college football as I have for this man, you not so much. I'm kidding. Yeah, I do have respect. But how you guys can say this is a no-brainer that Washington should be ranked above Texas A&M?
No question.
Yeah.
To me, it's not even close the other way around. May I cite the latest Sagarin rating? A&M, strength of schedule, ranked 23rd. That's on who they've played so far, and that's all we have to go on is who they played. They haven't played UT San Antonio yet, right? That's down the road. Washington
in November.
Okay, Washington is 69th, so it's 23rd to 69th in strength of schedule. Then we talk about non-conference. So Washington opens with Rutgers, Idaho, and Portland State. Those are 3 really bad teams, right? One of them, 1AA bad. And then they open their conference schedule at Arizona, and it takes overtime to survive at Arizona against a team that is now 2-6 with victories over Grambling and Hawaii. Are you kidding me? Then they crush Stanford. Stanford's fallen now to 5-3. And they crush Oregon 3-5. And they crush Oregon State 2-6. And they go to Utah, and people. I watched the whole game. It was great. It was tremendous. Everybody is high marks.
3 blocks in the back on that punt return, though.
Okay, but it took a punt return to pull it out. And by the way, Utah lost to Cal, and that's a bad loss. But it took a little bit out of that. It took a little sting out of that game. And now I look at Texas A&M. They opened with UCLA. It did go to overtime, but UCLA was ranked 16th in the country at that point.
In preseason.
Okay, but you got to give them that they were ranked. And then they won at Auburn before Auburn had turned into Auburn. I give you that. But then they play Arkansas, ranked 17th at that time. You got to give them something for that because they crushed Arkansas. And then they play Tennessee. Tennessee was ranked 9th in the country at that point. Have they fallen on their face since then? You got me. Then they go to Alabama, ranked obviously number 1. And played the heck out of them for 2.5 quarters because I told you whenever it was last week when we talked about it. It's 14-13 Texas A&M mid-third quarter, and they commit the most egregious, just boneheaded penalty you can commit. And then all of a sudden the floodgates open for Bama at home, and they're returning balls for touchdowns, and I get that, and it gets out of hand 33-14. But just to me, just at a glance at this, I don't think it's even close. Well, A&M deserves to be ranked ahead of Washington now.
I feel bad for you because you've fallen victim to exactly what the SEC and their fan bases want you to fall victim to, which is the fact that preseason rankings matter and that all of a sudden all of those Sagarin strength of schedule marks are going to matter and they're going to become a big deal, right? Well, they're derived.
I went to school in the SEC.
I understand that, but they are derived, the strength of schedule, based on win-loss record. Based on a conference that plays 8 conference games versus 9 conference games. If we're not going to have equitable schedules, then we can't talk about strength of schedule. Because the bottom line is that the SEC doesn't go out of their footprint often. They play FCSs many times in November. Their schedules are inherently much more easy. The SEC East is not very good this year.
No.
Tennessee should be a 3-5 team, so you can't give them
and
credit.
And the Pac-12
for beating a ranked Tennessee team.
What?
But
it's Washington and nobody.
I disagree with you completely. If you're going to give credit for Washington to beat Tennessee, who should be 3-5 and should have lost to App State, then you have to give Washington credit for beating Utah on the road, which over the last 2 years has been one of the best Pac-12 teams in the entire conference, right there with a tied record with Stanford over the last 24 games. That's the problem with college football, is the perception of strength in the middle of the SEC is ruining how we rank teams, not only in the preseason, but then teams get all of these bumps, and all of a sudden you sit here with Texas A&M ranked at number 4. Not even close to the 4th best team in the country, and they probably are going to lose to LSU. And let's hope that they stay out of this playoff because they're not a deserving team.
Okay, but Washington has one impressive afternoon on its whole resume so far at Utah, which lost to Cal.
Which is the impressive afternoon for Texas A&M? Auburn? I'll give you that. So they've got one.
Alabama was impressive. I think the committee took Alabama into consideration.
Lost. They
okay,
but
they stayed in. Maybe Washington,
Tennessee against Alabama.
Maybe Washington gets blown out at Alabama, according to the guy across from me. Everybody gets blown out.
If we're going to give props for just playing Alabama tough, then Ole Miss should be number 2 in the country because they played them tougher than Texas A&M did.
Well, anybody find it odd that the Big 12, the highest ranked team is 15th? You're going to miss the playoffs again.
They're out.
They're going to miss you.
They're out. They lost.
Unless a lot of things going to have to happen for them to even get consideration.
Nope, they're done.
Oklahoma is at 15. Oklahoma State and Baylor was 17 and 18. Baylor 17, Oklahoma State 18. There's a chance they're not going to even get consideration.
Bob Stoops lost to Houston and then let Ohio State clean his clock in Norman. That's it. You're done for the year.
No mercy. This is the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast, where we're delivering you an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the biggest topics of the day's show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. You can like us on Facebook at Undisputed on FS1, follow on Twitter at Undisputed, and catch us 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, Monday through Friday on FS1. You can find us on channel 219 on DirecTV, 150 on Dish. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow when Ray Lewis and Nelly come back. We'll see you all on Thursday. Fox.